You drove the farthest.
Oh, I drove the furthest. Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry I didn't hear you say about executive session. I'm sitting in my own world there, not even paying attention. So I appreciate you seeing me this morning. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about this morning. One of them is I wanted to talk about your existing plan just for a few minutes, and then renewal. Your existing plan, when I started here, I started talking to the commissioners about 2.5 years ago. And at that time, we won't go into that, what you had and had to get out because it was drain. He said it, I did not. It was draining the coffers pretty big. And so what you are on right now is called an HRA plan. And I'm putting this in very layman term. An HRA plan is different than an HSA. HSA is employees get to keep that money. So if you fund an account for an employee under an HSA and they get to use that money, it is their account. An HRA, which you guys have, you get to keep that money. So what that is called your reserve. And I know you've heard Julie and I talk about your reserve funding and what have you. What you normally try to do on an HRA, it is not your money that you have, you just don't look at it for a 1-year period because sometimes your claims are higher and then they're lower. And it goes like this. Mm-hmm. So that's why it was renewed again. Plus that our prices were better. I know you commissioners would not make a decision for a plan to expend more of the taxpayer money. I know that. So what you all did is said, okay, we're going to renew this again. But keep in mind, under an HRA plan, you have what we call an underlying carrier. That is the carrier that is the reinsurance carrier. They take care of those claims that are over and above what the employee's deductible is. Then you have your funding, what you put in your reserves, and then those amounts above are taken care of by the reinsurance carrier. When we first started 2 years ago, we made sure that you all knew, or not you, but the commissioners knew, that reinsurance carrier can be replaced at every renewal. We don't affect your account. We don't go in and start from scratch with your funding and do all that. We just take, here's your reinsurance carrier, we can just replace that reinsurance carrier that covers the claims. So if you want Blue Cross, if they're the cheapest, for the reinsurance portion, if they're the cheapest, or Aetna's the cheapest, or United Healthcare's the cheapest, that's who we slide in there. Mm-hmm. All right? So when you look at quotes, you look at what that reinsurance carrier is costing you, but you compare that reinsurance cost with Aetna, with United Healthcare, with Blue Cross. That's what you want to see. Then you know what your other costs are going to be on top of that, because there's a percentage. So your percentage of savings is what you guys get for your reserve fund. Now, I did read in the paper somebody called it pooling. I did read that. I think it was your treasurer's office that said it's pooling. Pooling in the insurance industry is a different term. Mm-hmm. When you pool something, that would be Cheyenne County, Rollins County, Smith County, all of you go in together in a pool. The problem with pools is they get dirty and then the pool dissolves. And by being dirty, you have too many claims versus what you have. You guys are not in a pool with anybody. This is your money. Now, the last 2 or 3 months, your claims have been very, very high claims. You've had some, so yes, your funding, your reserves have gone, and then a little bit more. But last year, your total cost was $427,091. That was because you had good claims. You weren't having to dip into your reserve as much as you have the last 2 or 3 months. I spoke to a couple of people, and one of the things that your auditor did, and I'm sure they're a very, very fine firm, but you can't take the 5 months. Remember when Julie and I came out and we said, here's what your so far your 5 months, or was it 6 months? I think it was 5 months. Here's what you've run for 2016. I was told that the auditor took that number, divided it by 5, and multiplied it by 12. Mm-hmm. With MHRA, now you're saying that every single month is going to be like the last 2 or 3 that were really down here, and you can't do that. You have to, you look at what you did in 2015, and Julie sat right here and said, you might want to add 9% to that. Mm-hmm. 9 or 10. I think you even said you guys had talked about 10%. But anyway, that's what you need to do. Not take what you've had with 2 or 3 bad months and say that's the way it's going to be for the whole year. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of wanted to go over that. Now, when I said about the reserve, your reinsurance carrier, that we can replace it. We can replace it with Blue Cross. Yeah. I know that is something that the commissions, you all have looked at before. When Alejandra was fired from Blue Cross, there were several issues, but they had quite a few complaints. There is another lady, her name is Carol. And Carol is a very good friend of Julie's, 25 years friend of Julie. She took Alejandra's place. Carol said, you just get the county, because I'm your agent as far as on record. I'm your insurance agent. I can do whatever you all want. The reason I brought Julie in here is because Julie is probably one of the best in the state as a TPA. She is beyond awesome. So that, and I'm sure your employees have told you that they're very happy with the way their claims were resolved and handled and everything. So she is very, very good. But I wanted to see with an HRA plan that you guys even have a reserve that will save the taxpayers more money, and that's why we went with the HRA. So if you want to look at and what the spreadsheet will show, rather than one of you going direct to Blue Cross, one of you going to United Healthcare, one of you going to Aetna, things like that, Julie and I will put together a spreadsheet. And that spreadsheet will show you the exact quotes, and we'll have attachments. We'll give you the actual quote with it so you can verify our numbers. But it will show you, here's the plan, because last year, the numbers from Blue Cross were higher than what you're paying right now. And I'm talking all-in numbers. I'm not talking just that reinsurance, all in. And their plan wasn't as good. It was going to cost your employees more out of pocket. It was going to be a higher deductible. There was less benefit to your employees, and it was going to cost more. So that's why you all made the decision to stay where you are. Let's see if we can fund some more reserves. We can do that very easily. You'll have a one-sheeter. You can look across it. You're not having to guess, well, let's see, their out-of-pocket cost for the employees is this much. Their deductible is this much. How does that compare? And go from report to report. It'll be all on one sheet and very easy to understand. If you want to go back, not back, because as long as I remember Commissioner Patton and the other commissioner talking, I don't think you've had a traditional fully insured plan, as far as anyone has told me. And that is a fully funded or fully insured traditional plan is one where you buy a plan that has $1,000 deductible, because that's what your employees now have, is $1,000 deductible, $1,500 coinsurance, 20% up to $1,500 with a maximum out of pocket of $2,500. That is your employees' worst case scenario if something happens to them. we can go out, Julie and I can go out in the marketplace, and we can get you all the quotes for a fully insured plan that you want to look at. Therefore, there's no more reserve funds. I guarantee you this 427 is going to probably be maybe not double, but maybe 50% more of what this is. And the insurance company keeps any money. So if you pay your premium and there was low claims month, they keep it. They don't give that claims money back to you. So you look at that is money, and when Julie talks about throwaway money, that's what she's talking about. Because every insurance company has this pie chart, and they say, okay, this is what we need for overhead, this is what we need for expenses, this is our claims. If that money is used, fine, they're in the hole a little bit, but if it's not used, it's their money. That is a traditional fully insured product. So we can do a spreadsheet that's going to show you fully insured plans, what those costs would be for the county. We will then come down and show you the HRA, just replacing the insurance company in that plan. We can show you all that. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about as far as your plan. And I know you all know this. I'm just throwing it out again. Coming renewal, we want to start looking at your renewal earlier this year. Your renewal date is January 1. You have 30 days prior to January 1 for open enrollment for your employees. That's when they get to decide if they want to make any changes, add a spouse, delete, whatever they want to do. So December is, you need to have decisions made prior to that, because that's their open enrollment period. The month of November is normally when, since you all meet twice a year, that's when we would come out the first part of November, whatever, and tweak whatever your decision was. That means in October, you all need to know at least by October what your numbers are, see where you're going, what you want to do. Julie and I would like to start in September, because that'll give you a couple more weeks to look at things over. I know that you have contacted Blue Cross. Carol has already indicated that and is ready to get numbers to us. If you would prefer, the quotes just go to you, and then we'll show you what we have, and then you guys can compare this stack of papers with what we have. So that is up to you, but most of our counties and cities like to see it all on one sheet so they can go over with your quotes attached. So that talked about your plan, and I'll be quiet for a minute. If we have renewal, we can get quotes, and we'll start gathering all the information. I'm not saying, Commissioner Radcliffe, that we can have it by September 1st, but that's when we will start pulling in as much information as we can. Most carriers don't have renewal numbers until 60 days prior.
Oh, really?
Now, we can get new quotes, and we can start working on things, but...
Well, I know based on what the board has indicated to me, they would like as much information earlier.
We will get it for them. As much as we have, they will have.
Right.
We are going to advertise for bids, which we did last year, and we're going to do it this year.
I'm just like listening to her talk, and she's an industry expert. Like, I feel like maybe some of the deadlines we're setting are unreasonable here, because in reality, when would you actually have real numbers for the board to make a decision on?
Renewal numbers normally come in 60 days prior, but that doesn't mean we don't work on it prior to that.
Okay.
What we do is, if there are only a few in some states, some of the industry, some of the carriers, are you could choose from 10 different insurance companies. The state of Kansas, we have about 3, maybe 4 players. Of course, you have United Healthcare that's huge. You have Blue Cross. You have Aetna, who's very large. You have Assurant. You have a couple of other small ones, which I probably wouldn't go with. So back to your scenario. So if there's 3 carriers out there, let's just say that there's 3 that we can, Aetna, United Healthcare, and Blue Cross, all right? If you put something out to bid, and I'm an agent, okay? If you are dissatisfied with my service, with Julie's service, with what we have provided to the county, I understand that. But I'm getting the same bid as Joe, as Mary, as all these people that are going to come in with bids for you. So at that point, then if you have every bid is the same, or every insurance carrier is the rate, they're not going to do, Aetna is not going to release a quote. They're going to be the same for everyone. They're not different quotes. So you have to decide how many agents you want to have come in here and provide numbers that are going to be the same numbers that Julie and I give to you. So basically that's it. It comes down to if you feel you've got the service, then that's fine. If you get other bids, if we provide not only your fully insured, but also your bid for replacing that reinsurance carrier, I don't know what other bids anyone could bring if they're using the same numbers. Mm-hmm. And when I say same numbers, 15 families, 1 employee and child, 8 employees with dependents, or what, and 7 singles. If they're all using that guideline or whatever your actual numbers are of your employee count, then you're going to see the same. You should see the same numbers from everybody.
So break this. I mean, you're an insurance agent.
Yes,
right now.
I am.
And do we have a contract with you, or is our contract directly with the companies that we're actually buying the insurance from? Does that make sense? For the purpose of deadlines for renewals.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that.
With me, what you have is an appointment.
Okay.
Saying that Cheyenne County has appointed me as their agent,
okay.
And it is up to me to do my very best to bring the very best product and prices to you. With the TPA, which is Julie, mm-hmm. is the TPA. She handles the claims, she handles the funding, she handles whatever she's doing. There are other TPAs. There's one out of Kansas City. But TPAs charge different amounts, all right? Julie is probably one of the most competitive as far as what a TPA charges per employee per month for their service. You have a contract with your TPA, all right? Okay. When you get the final papers from the insurance carrier, I don't care who it is, you're going to have what they call an employer contract or an employer agreement. Or an employer app. They all call them 3 different things. You complete that employer's application and it is signed. Now, sometimes in some of the counties it is signed by the clerk, but the clerk has the approval and the nod from the commissioners because the clerk doesn't make that decision. So yes, you do. And to answer your question, yes, the client does have 2 contracts that they're signing for.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we appoint you, and then we have a direct contract with the TPA.
The TPA.
Okay.
And with the carrier.
Right. That part I understood, but not with the insurance, not with you directly. We just have the appointment.
You can replace me at any time. Okay. You can say, she didn't ever come here, she only came once a year, we couldn't get her by phone, we're replacing our agent.
And I feel like this is a distinction that we all need to understand because I don't feel like that's been clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't been clear in the past.
And some, I've noticed here in Kansas a lot, some get confused with me being an agent that I work for an insurance company. I don't work for an insurance. I'm an independent insurance agent. I am licensed with every carrier that is contracted and licensed with the state of Kansas. I am that way in every one of the states that I'm in. So I get, if my client says, I don't like this insurance, then I go to whoever else and get quotes for them. If they say, we don't want this. Now, if they say, Alicia, we don't feel that you have been seeing us, taking care of our questions, doing all these things, then they normally go out for bid and say, we need new agents to bring this in. Because when you have insurance carriers coming in to present you with quotes, the water can get a little muddy. They can throw their seasoned people and their salespeople.
So let's clarify number one. Are you guys wanting to keep your appointment with her, or are you wanting to look into other agents? I just want to make sure we're clear here.
What I was doing was I had contacted Noelle, and she got a hold of Carroll Roadhouse to get a quote from Blue Cross. I wanted to get a straight up quote from Blue Cross to find out where we were.
Okay,
So,
but my question is,
You're asking if we want to have Freedom's Claims be the agent.
no.
I'm
But see,
the
this is why I think this is the confusion. She is not Freedom Claims. She is our insurance agent.
Okay.
And she has got a quote from, in the past, she got a quote from United Health,
Okay.
which you guys chose to go with, but she does not work for them. And I feel like maybe that's been part of the confusion, because neither you nor Julie work for United. Okay.
We don't work for United
So I-
or
Right.
I think
Aetna or
I knew
anyone.
that.
question number one is, are you wanting to keep her as your insurance agent, or is your intent in the bidding process is to look into different insurance agents? Because, I mean, she can collect all the information to give you guys different options of whether or not you want to stay HRA, and then different renewal cost for that reinsurance. Am I using that term
Yes,
correctly?
you are.
And get you guys some quotes on what a fully insured plan looks like, so you
Correct.
can compare it to the HRA.
Correct.
Am I using all the right terms?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
But I guess I just want to clarify what the intent of the board is. Are you wanting to look into whether or not we want a different agent, or are you wanting to keep her and have her look into getting all these quotes for us? Which then I don't think we need to advertise anything, because she is going to be out actively getting quotes from everyone in Kansas,
Correct.
and would give us in a spreadsheet on that.
Well, I just wanted to get a straight up quote from Blue Cross at the time, and so that's up to these guys. I mean,
Do you feel
I-
that Blue Cross would be giving you a straight-up quote and not giving us the same straight-up quote? Do you feel that we wouldn't be showing you the same numbers on the straight-up quote from Blue Cross?
we can find out.
I would like to keep her as an agent and have her obtain the information from several companies so that I like the idea of a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
I
because I
really
guess
do.
my thing is, I think there's been a confusion about who Alicia and Julie
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
are. And if we're wanting to keep them as our agent and direct them to obtain quotes, we don't need to place an advertisement in the paper. If you guys are actually wanting to consider
Replace.
going with a different agent, then you would direct her to go ahead and put her quotes together, and we put an advertisement out to look at
And
other
we would have-
agents, and then they would come in
With
probably
the
with the
same
same
quotes.
numbers, and then it would just be a matter of who you guys choose. I just want to make sure the direction is clear on that, because when you said place an advertisement, I assumed you meant that you were wanting to change agents. But if you're wanting to stay with her, we don't need to place an advertisement and just direct her to obtain quotes.
One
with
thing
everybody.
that can be done, if Commissioner Poling feels more comfortable receiving a quote direct from Blue Cross, and I will get the same quote from them, so they will be releasing whatever they do to Commissioner Polling, as he said he wants a direct up one, then I will get the same quote. That is what is spread, so there is no confusion of, well, maybe the numbers are, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they don't trust me. I'm just saying they're looking out for the county.
Sure.
So if Commissioner Polling wants to get that quote and understand that quote, because Carol Roadhouse is the one, and she has talked to Julie and said, we can get this to you right away. But if Commissioner Polling would feel more comfortable, it can go to both.
To both. So question number one, do we want to stay with the same agent? And if we're going to stay with the same agent, we don't need to run an ad.
Well, get quotes. I mean, we get a quote from her. I just,
Stay with the same agent, she can get the spreadsheet and give
Well-
you the separate quote.
Are you guys wanting to run an ad to elicit quotes from other agents as well?
Ain't gonna hurt.
If she's gonna give us the same data.
Well, so she said.
Oh,
But why not investigate it a
okay,
little?
Okay.
Get
all
one
right,
from them
all right.
too.
Okay.
Fine,
Well,
yeah.
just want to.
I mean, if you're going to trust somebody, if they bring proof, you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm clear here so Karen knows what she needs to do. We're going to run an ad asking insurance agents to provide quotes on different health insurance plans for the county. Okay, and we want those agents to contact Deb by the end of this month, by the 31st, correct? Is that,
yeah.
okay?
All
All right.
We just want to make sure that we're if there's, again, financially, we want to do the best thing we can for the county.
And she doesn't have a problem with it.
I don't
so
think, yeah, I don't,
we'll get her
I'm
done.
not saying that they're not going to be the best one, but we
Yeah,
need-
but I think the confusion here is she's not the one creating, we can
they're
do that, but,
co-insurance.
yeah,
with
I mean,
United
the
Healthcare.
numbers
We
we're gonna
understand
get,
that.
the numbers we're gonna get from the agents will probably be the same, and if they're not, we'll be able to
Yeah,
call that out. But really, this comes down to more of a matter of, do you like the personality and the work ethic and the availability of the insurance agent? And
That
I
we
feel like
have.
that's a separate.
I think Freedom's Claims and United Healthcare has done a great job for us.
Okay, but that's not her.
Well,
I,
right.
okay, that's because I guess I just want to clarify. The first decision is we'll have to pick an agent,
Yes.
and then we will pick whether or not we want to stay HRA or fully insured. And then if we do HRR, then we also will have to choose who the underlying insurance
And
is.
that's where your agent will come up with the TPA that will make sure you get with a trustworthy TPA.
Okay.
So the agent is the one. So basically, if you run an ad, you're running an ad to get an agent and have that agent bring in quotes.
Right.
Because I, as your agent, am going to be bringing in quotes.
Right, okay. So the ad, I think we need to reword it a little bit. The ad is going to be that the county is eliciting quotes from insurance agents for different insurance plans from fully insured and HRA. And that the insurance agent needs to contact the clerk by the end of the month. Is everyone comfortable with that?
so can you still provide us with a spreadsheet?
Yes, I will bring in. What I do need is and you can talk to Carol Roadhouse if you want to, but for her to give us both quotes, I need something signed by the commissioners saying that she is authorized to release the same quotes to me so that I can put them on the spreadsheet. It's a one-liner.
Yeah, I'm fair with that.
And that you can read it to, wait, I may have another copy. Hang on. It's a one-liner. You better let Nicole look at that too. Here you go. It's a one-liner saying that they have authorization to release quotes for Cheyenne County to your agent.
And you're going to look into everything that we talked
Everything.
about. Okay.
I am.
Yeah.
But just make sure that when
You're the
these
chair, you can sign that.
when these agents do come in, when these agents do contact you, that the head count is exact, because that's going to be the only variance. You're going to have all these, thank you, all these people coming in, these agents, to get your, I guess, to get your business or to service you, and the only variable is going to be your head count.
Could we go through that right now so we make sure that
Well,
you have the head count and Deb has the same head count, so that way all
it may change. Well,
Okay.
go ahead.
And I just did that for Blue Cross and Blue
Okay.
Shield. I just went through and took each employee and filled out a sheet whether they had spouse and or dependents and the date of birth on those employees and which employees did not go under the county's health insurance.
So you took the ones that waive off, you have your total number, and then you have your head count as far as, do you have that number available for myself and?
It's in the office.
Okay, so I can go in
Make sure
and
she gets the exact same
exact
numbers.
same
That's what I
numbers.
think,
Right, right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Apples to apples.
Because if they add, because if all of a sudden they add one more single, and we have another family, then
Right,
yes,
yeah, it's
you
gonna be
guys are
different.
going to be sitting here looking through reams of papers trying to understand where they come up with their numbers. So,
And I have the girls take a copy of that so I can put it in the file.
oh yes, oh absolutely, absolutely. I'm sorry, I just shoved it in my briefcase. So you have a timeline. The commissioners have set a timeline, and tell me what your timeline is right now. You have by August 31st that any other agents that want to be an agent for Cheyenne County will be contacting you. You don't know what carriers or companies that they're going to bring in quotes for. You're just going to do an interview process with these agents to see if you like them or not, correct? Because
Well, I wouldn't say agents, I'd say the companies the agent represents.
no, okay, so they are representatives of a certain company. I'm an
Right,
agent.
exactly.
They're rep. Blue Cross hires representatives.
See,
That's what
this
Alejandra
is
was.
what I was getting
very.
at. I feel
yeah.
like you guys we're not speaking the same language.
I don't think so.
Because
Again, it's insurance. You can get 12 lawyers sitting in here, not a damn one of them's going to decide.
Because my thing is, are you wanting a different agent, or are you wanting actual reps to come in from health insurance companies and make a direct bid to you guys?
Reps, I think is what we want to be able to compare what the reps are going to present.
And
to
how
what
are you
we
going to
have.
do that?
Pardon?
Well, if you have in one meeting, you're going to have 4 different reps. They're salespeople coming in and talking to you. Let's use last year with Alejandra. She came in and presented, I'm not going to say her name, Blue Cross came in and presented what they thought was the best plan for you. After that representative was done, and she showed you the plans, and it was said, yeah, this is good, whatever. After that representative left, and Julie and I took our turn, it was then disclosed to you all, look here, compare this, what you have, with this quote that they just brought you. It was going to cost your employees more out of pocket. But sometimes to a layman, and I'm not saying you guys are laymen, you're very intelligent people, but insurance is this... I know for 35 years, insurance is this really weird game sometimes. And I don't want you as commissioners to get confused if you have 4 different insurance companies, reps, not agents, reps coming in, and they want you to buy their product, I don't care what product you buy. I want you to have the best product. That's the difference. I have skin in the game with you guys. These reps get a bonus or a compensation if they sell you their company. So
Right.
they have a vested interest in what you buy. So they're going to come in. Now, where's your spreadsheet? You're going to have to sit down and do spreadsheets and compare, like I was saying last year. Do our employees get the same good benefits for the cost versus this one, versus this one, versus this one? And you're going to have to look at them.
Okay, so to go back,
Oh,
you guys
sorry.
are not wanting the ad for insurance agents. You're wanting the ad for reps of insurance companies to come in and make direct bids to you.
I think we need agents, guys.
Pardon?
I think we need.
What I'm confused about with that is if your agent is telling you that she's going to provide you guys exact copies of the bids so that you know that the information she's giving you matches the information, that's not going to change from agent to agent because those bid numbers comes from the insurance companies themselves. So if this is a matter of choosing an agent who is a better fit for you, that's not a financial decision because the underlying finances are going to be the same.
It's a service
Right.
issue.
So I just want to, if you're wanting to open it up for agents and to bring agents into interview, I think that needs to happen very quickly because it seems silly to have 10 different agents be obtaining quotes from you, that you're going to have the actual quote from the company because the finances are going to be the same from agent to agent to agent. That's more of a...
They should be.
Right.
If the numbers, the
Are the
employee
same, but that's the
numbers-
thing, is if you're getting a copy of the actual quote from the insurance
Correct.
company, then any question about is the underlying information accurate is taken care of.
And that's what your agent is supposed to do. They're supposed to look at those bids from those quotes from the insurance company. And if something is not right, if all of a sudden they had 12 families instead of 15, then that is what the agent does, calls them and say, re-quote it, your number's not right. If the agent doesn't see that, then you guys are making a decision based on the agent and what they review the quote. So
Okay, so are you wanting reps to come out, or are you? I guess the question is, do you want a new agent? Is that? I feel like that's question number one.
I think the question really here is, as an agent or any other person that's selling insurance, do you represent the companies that you're getting bids for?
oh, absolutely, I have
What the hell's the
to.
difference? Yeah, representative and the agent is basically the same thing.
No, because the rep cannot get quotes from other carriers. I don't care what carrier you go with.
Well, if you're representing, if you get quotes from 40 companies,
Yes,
okay, you're not representing them companies at all.
only to you I am.
Right. But if you was only representing one, you'd still be a representative and an agent, right? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Not really, because I don't have a vested interest in what carrier you go with.
Well, see, that's what I'm after. Not that we're going to, well, I don't know who we're going to pick or why. What we want, I think, is to compare apples to apples, as Rodney
And that's what a
said.
spreadsheet will do for you, Commissioner.
Well, exactly, but I mean, if we're going to do a little investigation here, what's it going to hurt to get 3 different more people to come in here so we've got a comparison sheet from 3 or 4?
As long as you can analyze that information
so-
accordingly.
Because we've said like 3 different things here. You are wanting you're wanting an advertisement for new agents to come in and get quotes, and then at some point you're going to have all the agents come in and go through all their different quotes, and then you will first pick your insurance agent, and then you will choose whatever your health insurance is. But at this point, the advertisement we talked about before, eliciting new agents, that's what you want.
What do you guys think?
It is confusing.
I just I want to do what's best for the county, period. That's all I care about. Whatever is the cheapest and the best for the county. So, I mean, I get concerned. I don't even want to get into what I was getting concerned about. I want, you guys just, what are you thinking? Guys, I deal with insurance on a daily basis, and I tell you, there's bad insurances out there and I want to have the county and the next commissioners to have no problems. We haven't had problems with you guys, and that's nothing against you guys, but we're accountable for the tax dollars. So we have to look at stuff. We have to say, okay, is this where we want to be? So
are you wanting the ad that we talked about before, eliciting?
Okay, you're asking, do we want? Okay, we'll go. Okay, say that I'm an agent. Okay, I can go and I can get quotes from all these different insurance companies.
Yes.
Right, and that's what you are. Yes, and I understand that. So if you're the agent, go ahead and get the Blue Cross quote that I signed because
But you're
You have
wanting
to
the
analyze.
advertisement to ask other agents to also contact and get quotes to present.
to present
Okay.
for the numbers so we know where we're at as far as $610,000 is what we budgeted. If we can get it, $100,000 cheaper. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I just want to make sure you're running an advertisement for other agents to run quotes. You're not running an advertisement for reps from insurance companies. Okay.
Because as she said, reps are salesmen.
They are.
They're going to get a commission for the higher premium they sell us. We've got 3 or 4 reps in the Are we being good stewards of the county's money if we don't give Nigels, all these
they're not
people?
reps. They're insurance agents.
Right.
Okay.
But is that fair that we need to run an ad for something like this?
Okay.
where we're spending county
I'm
tax
making sure
dollars?
we're all on the same page. We're running an ad.
We are. It gets confusing because we talk about reps and agents. Agents are under reps typically, correct? And they go out, or are they just for the insurance company?
The insurance company hires in-house representatives, sales representatives that go out and try to sell their product. It's like any other salesman does. They're going to say and do to you what they feel is going to get them the business. And there are reps, and you deal with them in the medical field, you deal with them all over. There are reps for certain companies that will say whatever they feel is important at the time to get you to choose their product, even if it doesn't match what the employees had of benefits for, okay? And if you're looking at that and you're looking at just numbers for the county, you have to take into consideration how it will affect your employees too.
Yeah, we have
to
to
some
look through
degree.
the
You've
smoke
got a
screen.
big balancing act, you guys do. All I'm saying is what I bring in and what another agent brings in and another agent brings in, if they're based on the same head count, will be the same. So if I'm getting quotes, now sometimes carriers will say we're only releasing 2 quotes. So it's one of those games, first one in gets the quote, second one in can get them 2. So I'm just letting you know that we will get all the quotes. You may or may not get the same quotes from the 4th and 5th agent that comes in.
And that's for us to see.
You can only see so many quotes of the same quote over and over. Whereas your agent does not have that relationship with the carrier. I am contracted and licensed with every carrier in the state of Kansas, and I have to go through pages and pages of licensing to make sure that I meet all their requirements. So that is the difference between a rep that gets its paycheck every month from that company and they want you to buy it versus me who's saying, what's the best? Let's look at the best. So
Okay, so we're running an ad to have insurance agents contact Deb by August 31st. Then do we want to go ahead and set a time for all of the agents to come in? And
September 15th?
is that too soon?
you want all the agents to come in and present numbers by September 15th?
Probably be the 31st. 30th.
How long do you need?
Well, I'll get the information. We'll get it from Carol because Carol's just waiting for Julie to call us.
Okay.
Of course, United Healthcare will do whatever we want, but we may have, if they don't have their final actuarial numbers, renewal numbers, we may have to start plugging something in. So I would, if we could by the end of September have some numbers to you and give us 2 or 3 more weeks in the month of September to get this.
That'll work.
We'll push them as hard as we
work.
can.
And so then all insurance agents will present at the commissioners meeting on September 30th.
On September 30th,
Karen, can you put that?
Get a hold of you.
Okay.
I will.
Shoot me an email.
Should
and
we
we'll
have
work
that
on
as
it.
an afternoon session? Because we have regular business that we'll need to take care of in the morning.
I think we need to see what the schedule looks like.
Pardon?
I think we need to wait and see what the schedule, well, I don't know.
We're talking a month down the line, so a month and a half, so. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
I think it'd be better to have it in the, that we recess and come in and then see these insurance people.
Okay. Well, let's see how many we have apply
Yeah.
by the next meeting. And
Okay.
if it's just, might just end up being Alicia. So if that's the case, we can just,
Well, yeah, if it is, it won't take long.
yeah.
now, do you want me to contact Deb and tell her that I'm also, if you're saying all agents need to contact,
No,
that
we know
way we'll
you're-
be presenting, or
We
will
know
you
you're
assuming?
coming.
Yeah,
Okay. All right, I want to clarify that so I don't come to the meeting and you go,
Yeah.
well, you didn't call Deb.
You better be, I mean, you don't want to lose out on the deal there.
Okay, what else, gentlemen?
I don't have
think there's
anything else.
anything else. Appreciate you coming down.
Not a
Long
problem.
drive.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I'm,
And thanks for
Getting to know the-
confusing the hell out of us.
what's that?
I said, thanks for confusing us.
Well, you want to get a copy of this? You already did? Okay, thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a
Good to
nice
see you
day.
guys.
See ya.
I think the question is, what the hell ought we be saying?
Is Lauren here still?
Lauren,
He had to go to the doctor's appointment that gave me his stuff.
Come on up. We're gonna have the whole crew come up.
We're just waiting for court.
Can we ask what jail you're mad
Told me to
at?
come down and watch the health insurance thing. Sorry if I don't know all the answers to all your questions. He just kind of handed this and
Okay,
whispered me
that's fine.
some stuff before he left. So, this is for the Bird City Fire Department. These are. Let me go through. This is a quote for the slide-in bed. This is looks like quotes for vehicle. This is a quote for the whole thing. Now, I'm kind of lost at what you guys are wanting him to present. So I guess we'll start off with
Okay,
questions.
Better.
the equipment or whatever it is for the rural fire,
Yes.
okay? I want to make sure we all agree on that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This truck is not being set up to fight
It's not
any,
part of the municipality
no,
of Bird
no.
City.
They just bought themselves a new fire truck last year, so, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've already briefed us on that.
Yeah, so, no, this is what they call quick attack brush truck. It's made for fighting pasture fires, stubble field fires,
Okay.
things like that.
This is a truck, this is the pump.
And this is a quote from Weiss, if we bought the pickup through them with this slide-in unit all combined, with them putting it together. That's what this third quote is. The top one is Ford, the bottom one is Chevy.
What we did is we put money in next year's budget. I don't know if he understands that. It's next year.
I think
Yeah,
he
told
does.
me last night
Okay,
that if he ordered this thing, if we approved it, he wasn't gonna take possession until January 1st to come out of next year's budget.
Because they're telling us that it would take between around 100 to 150 days for them to build it, put it together,
That's the difference between
deliver
this
it.
one and that.
And, of course,
So we're looking at $248 difference. So
not taking sides on the Chevy Ford debate, but they themselves, we said, because the Ford has a different front end, that they sell a lot more Fords than the Chevys, that the Ford makes a better suited pickup for brush, wildland firefighting because of something to do with the front end. That's from the manufacturer of the fire equipment, which the Ford costs, what is it, $2,000 more. But they said it's well worth it because of something to do with the front end.
We did budget for all this, so.
we budgeted 45,000.
45, but they should have a little carryover this year.
Well, that's just it. We need to look and see what they have in their current equipment reserve.
Do you have
So
that?
the top part here is 52,500.
Right, and that's the one that they recommend.
That's the one they want.
Can you look at what they have in reserve?
Well, I
You
need
have
to
enough-
talk to the treasurer, and she's not here this week.
Did he want this back?
What's that?
Did he want the bids back, or can we?
Yeah, I'm going to assume she hangs on to them as long as we can get them back.
Would that be an F-250 or 350?
The 350.
350.
Most of the used fire trucks that we looked at, just like anything, it was made and designed and used in rough pasture ground and stuff like that. They're running at that 45,000 for something that's newer or something, and for $7,000 more we can get new. One of the reasons why is you look at some of these brush trucks. This is a pretty plain Jane model, suits our needs. A lot of these have like chrome diamond plate toolboxes, things like that. That's why the used value is not that much difference between a brand new
Did you
value.
look and see what we?
I don't have it. I
I'm
didn't
afraid we're
think
not
I
going to be
had
able to
it
give
with
an
me.
answer today.
It was
as
in
far
that.
as that.
In the budget.
But we
It's in that book.
I don't have any of my budget stuff.
It should be, no,
That's the
no,
new
no.
Oh, and
These are what I'm talking about. The one for
they should all be together.
fire department.
Oh,
Special fire.
Ronnie.
Okay.
Will we, equipment reserve totals, we won't know that until the end of the year because we're not transferring money until then, right?
they'll be transferring some money into equipment reserve in the next few weeks
Okay.
from this year.
Okay.
I wanted to know what we give them for next year, though, which that's going to be in the
Well,
other budget.
what we budgeted for next year was 45,000.
Okay, so we're looking at 7,500.
That was, we added 45,000 to what was needed for here. That was above,
Right,
okay?
but they're going to have to carry over 7,500, whether they get it from special fire or
See, that's
Just
why
out of their budget.
why we need a single fire marshal to coordinate this stuff. When you've got two different locations for rural fire equipment, and you have one funding source, somebody needs to be in charge of the paperwork.
But Deb, we won't know the total for equipment reserve until the end of the year, depending on how the budget, correct? Am I-
Right.
They decided to
Depending
hold
on
off till
when
the
the
end of the year.
transfers are done.
Right, depending on how the budget turns out.
Okay.
So we won't actually know what's in there this year.
On May 16th, there was 28,507 in his account. Projecting,
well, would that come out of special fire? Would that come out of special?
I was always told by the auditor that when you enter into an agreement for goods and services, like in 2016, even though you're not taking possession until 2017, it still comes out of the 16
I
budget.
would think so.
So
That's all
that
I wanted to know.
I was just explaining that in visiting with the auditor, it's always been established that if you enter into an agreement for goods and services in 2016, but you're not going to acquire those until 2017, they still come out of the 2016 budget.
see, then
So,
there's nothing in the budget for this year. You can't do it until next year.
I'm just a messenger.
Yeah,
Don't
I
look
know,
at me.
I know. No, it wouldn't come out of special machinery. It has to come out of,
Well, what I'm getting at is
Yeah.
you can't order it until the first of the year. Then.
yeah, that's what it boils down to.
we
We
need-
ignored it the first of the year.
This truck is breaking down on them, right? All the
It's
time.
out of service now.
Yeah, it's done. They can drive it out, drag it back, drive it out, drag it back. I see it every damn time.
What can we do between now and then?
Pray.
Well, I believe in that as much as anybody else, but I also,
I don't know. It's. I mean, the reality is, if we can't get it until 2017, that's reality. It's not like it's the only fire truck,
do we
rural
have
fire
anything
truck.
we can use?
We have another brush truck over there, and we have that forestry truck.
Isn't that really slow, though?
It's really slow, yeah.
I have one of those.
Okay, yeah. So it's not like this is it,
Okay.
for the rural fire in that district. But it's still crucial. Those quick attack trucks do 90% of the work at a fire. So, and it's been working for us since 1980. It's, seen its time. But, like I said, the reality is if we can't purchase it until 2017, we can't purchase it until 2017. That's just reality. Be nice to enter the agreement now so it's built by 2017, but like Deb explained, if that puts that purchase in 2016, then it can't be done.
There's got to be a way to do that.
Pardon?
There's got to be a way to do that.
If your invoice is dated for January 1, we're going to come out in 2017.
I mean, because it's going to take them a while to get that all, probably a month to get that all built, isn't it?
Oh, they said at least 100 days.
yeah.
So that's 3.5 months, 3.5, 4
Because
months.
I think the thing is, I mean, it's not like we're signing a contract or anything. thing, right? I guess I understand the auditor's
I-
thing, but if there's nothing dated, if there's no contract, there's nothing indicating that it's coming out of 2016.
I don't know. I'm going to